Welcome all of you to Merit Nation. So in this particular session, as all of you know, the exam is just 6 or 7 days ahead. So we will try to discuss some of the tips, some of those things which may help in the examination. And one more thing, we may know those things, but we may not apply those things in the examination. So we'll try to discuss all those things in this class. Not much time is left for the practice, but still we can focus on many other things so that we can have edge over other students. So good evening everyone once again. So let us try to begin the session. So here, as all of you know, that the syllabus for JEE Main is given by CBSE, and that syllabus is same as that for the board examination. So what creates the difference? The questions that are asked in JEE Main? Yes, absolutely. And those questions, why those questions are a little different? Now, we already know that there are around 14 to 15 lakh students who are appearing for JEE Main examination almost each and every year, right? And for that particular thing, you already know that around 1,50,000 students are selected. Now, what creates really the difference? We already know the syllabus. We have studied a lot. We have also practiced the questions in the board examinations. But what happens in the JEE Main examination? So all those differences, all those points we are going to discuss in today's class, right? Okay. So now basically we'll try to analyze the question paper of each and every subject, that is for maths, for physics, as well as chemistry. Fine? Okay. So hi everyone. Anubhav Singh, Ruchika, Janvi, Swapnil, Nirbhay, Rahul, Harshad, Chaitanya, all of you again, very good evening. So let us try to analyze the question papers of previous years. And now you will realize that why this is very, very important. The analysis of the question papers, why this is important. Because at the end of the day, you will realize that since you have almost a week or more than just a week for the examination, so what will come to your rescue is basically the strategy with which you will go in the examination. Your mindset, because you have to be always calm in the examination. So all those things are very, very important. Apart from that is including the academics, including the concepts and the topics that you are going to study for the examination. Fine? Okay. So now let us try to first of all have analysis of physics examination. So as you can see, the chapters that are listed by the CBSE, so these all are those chapters. So for 2014, you can have a look. First of all, if you will take a look at the first two chapters, they have 4 marks each weightage in 2014 examinations, and work energy power is having 8, that is laws of motion having 8, work energy power having 4. Now the thing is that other chapters, some of the chapters have weightage. Some of the chapters are having more weightage than the other chapters. Fine? As you can see in this one, which is properties of solids and liquids. Yes, it alone carries 20 marks. The total number of marks is 120, and this chapter alone carries 20 marks, right? So now the importance of these 20 marks we will realize when we'll discuss the cutoffs for the JEE Main examination, or basically for appearing in JEE Advanced examination. Fine. So now let us try to analyze each and every chapter bit by bit. So here you can see thermodynamics. As far as thermodynamics is concerned, for 2014 it is just 0 marks. No question has been asked. But you will find that this may not be true for other chapters as well. The individual scores may vary from year to year, because some chapters are very important. You cannot leave thermodynamics. This is very, very important, right? So now let us try to analyze this for other subjects. Now first of all, for other chapters as well, here you can have oscillation and waves. You can find that it carries 8 marks. Oscillations and waves. Now electrostatics, it also carries 8 marks. So here we are just trying to analyze which are the chapters that we need to focus more, because the point is here when we are left with just 7-8 days, we have to revise those chapters which often carry more weightage, right? So here if you see optics, it alone carries 12 marks. So here we are talking about 2014. We'll also try to see the trend for 2013 as well. Then we'll try to compare it. Fine. So now you just try to see that as far as communication systems are concerned, electronic devices are concerned, in the recent years, or basically from 2010, if you see from 2010 to 14, the questions from these chapters are negligible. So even if you ignore these chapters, then not much harm will be done to you as far as your score is concerned. So it does not mean that we will ignore these chapters, but still, when we have limited time, we have to revise those concepts which carry more weightage. Fine. Now just try to see laws of motion. It carries 8 marks. So all those chapters which carry 8 marks or 12 or 20 marks, they becomes more important in this session of the year, that is 2014. Let us try to analyze it, or basically let us try to compare this with 2013. So this is the statistics for 2013 as far as physics is concerned. So you can see electrostatics, it carries 20 marks alone in 2013. Fine. But in 2014 it was just 8 marks. So you can just analyze this part of the syllabus. So as I said, the individual weightage may vary from year to year, but when we will have some umbrella terms for these topics, then you will come to know that why these topics are really important, because some of the topics may be interrelated to each other. We cannot leave one topic and do another one. So we'll just try to have the example for this. Fine. So as you can see, optics is very important, which carries 12 marks in both the years. So whenever you find any question paper, just try to see that in 2011, 12, in all the years you will find 2 or 3 questions of optics. So here you can score marks. So why to study electronics devices and communication systems when you can score much using other chapters? So we just have to take a look at all these facts, because these are very important, because here we have 21 chapters. Out of these 21 chapters, if we can do best in 10 or 11 chapters, you will find that you can score more than other students. So it is where you will have an edge over other students, because you will not study each and every chapter in detail. The point is, whatever we have to study, for example 70% of the syllabus if we have to cover, then we have to be very efficient in that syllabus, right? So now this is the basic part for physics. So as all of you know, the first initial 3-4 chapters, these will be included in mechanics. And as far as 2013 is concerned, 2014 is concerned, it is of 28 marks. And as far as 2013 is concerned, it is of 20 marks. This is for mechanics. Now we can have other umbrella terms also. So let us now try to analyze it for electricity and magnetism, or waves and thermodynamics. So another chapter that is from properties of solids and liquids, thermodynamics, kinetic theory of gases, all these will be included in waves and thermodynamics. So these combined will carry almost 32 marks, because some of the questions you will find are interrelated, and in 2013 it was 24 marks. Now we can define, these are the umbrella terms, basically mechanics, and we have waves and thermodynamics. Now we can analyze electricity and magnetism. So these electrostatics, current, electricity, magnetic effects, and so on. So all these chapters combined will form the electricity and magnetism, and in 2014 they carried 24 marks. In 2013, 32 marks. So this is the analysis. Now here we have another umbrella term which is very important, which is nothing but optics and modern physics. This is one of the very important part of physics. So optics and modern physics, that will be optics, dual nature, atomic and nuclear, all these chapters will be included in optics and modern physics. And in 2014 it carried 32 marks. In 2013 as well it carried 32 marks. So you can yourself see, out of 120, which is a total, it itself contains 32 marks. So it becomes automatically very important. Now if you will see the experimental skills of communication systems, even if you leave communication systems, you will not be harmed much, because basically in 2013 and 14 only, so there is no question being asked in 2013 as well as in 2014. So you will have to see the trends. So as far as experimental skills are concerned, these will be included in any of the chapters which you see above, because these experimental skills are based on the concepts that you studied in all the above chapters. So you can also do experimental skills if you have good knowledge of the above chapters. So you do not worry about these much, right? Very good, Janvi. If you have solved the last 5-year paper, it is very good. You must solve the previous year papers to have an idea what type of questions are asked, right? Now this is for the physics. Now let us try to see here that whenever you have here for stats for 2014 and here we have for 2013. Now if you see that the experimental skills carry here just minute percentage at 3.33% and here also 9.99%. Now if you have to choose, so it does not mean that you will have to leave those topics. You need to set the priority. Fine. Here waves and thermo, if you combine with optics and modern physics, both these combined will give you more than half of the syllabus, right? And here if you combine waves and thermo with optics and modern physics, it will be, yes, just less than half, but here there is more percentage which is in 2014 for optics and modern physics plus waves and thermodynamics. So the basic idea is one student may be weak in waves and thermo, but he may like optics and modern physics more. So similarly, some other student may be weak in electricity and magnetism, or may be strong in mechanics. So you will have to set the priority that in what of these chapters you have to choose, in what umbrella terms you will have to choose and concentrate on revising them again and again. Because mechanics, if you see, here you can have 20% of the syllabus and here 23.3% of the syllabus in 2014. So mechanics becomes very, very important, and mechanics is important because that these topics that are dealt in mechanics are included, or we can say interrelated with other topics as well, whether you talk about electricity and magnetism as well as waves and thermo or optics and modern physics. Mechanics is everywhere required. So this is it is mandatory to use mechanics because solved questions of mechanics are also there. You can say 23.33%. So now here you can easily select the topics, because the priority is you have to make some of the topics are stronger, so you have to focus more on those topics. So we have seen that what chapter carries what weightage in these 2 years, and if you see the trend, you will find that mechanics on overall average in previous year also it carries around 25 or 20 to 25% of the total syllabus. So you have to focus more on 23%. So do not worry about the number of total number of marks to clear the cutoff. We will also discuss the total number of marks. So just wait for that, and then you will come to know that what are the importance of these 12 or 20 marks per chapter when we'll discuss the cutoff. Fine. So cutoffs in all the years are more or less same, just 2 or 5 marks differences there. So now let us try to analyze it for mathematics. So in mathematics you will find very, very interesting facts. So all of you just try to focus here in mathematics. You will find very, very interesting facts. You will be amazed by looking at the facts in mathematics. Here, the first chapter, that is sets, relation and functions. So it carried in 2014 just one question, that is 4 marks. Complex number, if you see, it carried 12 marks. Metrics and determinants 8 marks, and then these are 2 chapters. So permutations and combinations, mathematical induction, if you see, most of the questions, most of the students do not like permutation and combinations. And if you see, the isolated questions of these topics are very rare in the examination. Maybe 1 or maximum of 2, but 2 are also very rare. So even if you leave these topics, you need not worry much about the score. You need not worry much about the cutoff. So it does not mean that you will deliberately leave these topics. So the question is again for priority. So now if it focus on binomial theorem and its applications. So binomial theorems, you will find the isolated questions are very few, but you will find that the application of binomial theorem are always there in one chapter or the other. Whether you talk about the integral calculus or limit continuity, you may find that in some of the areas you need to apply the binomial theorem. So we do not have to worry about what number of questions has been asked, but also its application in other chapters as well. Yes, fine. So now here is basically the integral calculus or limits, continuity and differentiability. If you take a look at it, alone carries 16 marks, and integral calculus alone carries 12 marks. So now you will see that these 3 chapters, basically the second one, limits, and 9th, that is for integral calculus. Fine. Now differential equations carried just 4 marks, so basically only 1 question. And here, so don't worry, Prahar, we will discuss about OBC cutoff, we discuss about general cutoff, so do not worry about that, right? So it is better if you focus on these stats right now. So we will discuss about the cutoffs also after the analysis of all these 3 chapters individually. And at the end, we'll try to solve 1 or 2 questions from each of these topics, fine, that are asked in previous year JEE examinations. Now, coordinate geometry, if you see, it alone carries 20 marks, right? So if you have these 4 chapters, just try to focus first of all in these 4 chapters and try to just add all these marks, that is 12, 16, 12, 20. Just try to add these marks and just try to see here what are the total number of marks. So before doing that, we can compare them with 2013 stats. Fine. So now let us try to see that here, as far as the second chapter is concerned, 12 marks here and 8 marks here. And as far as the limits, continuity and differentiability is concerned, 16 marks here and 20 marks here. So the number, the weightage is, you can say, worth taking a look at. That is 16 marks are huge marks if you consider the total number of marks, that is 120. And you will find that limit, continuity and differentiability, you can solve each and every question of this topic if you study it carefully. And if you study it with carefully and also practice questions of these topics. And integral calculus is concerned, as far as integral calculus is concerned, you have 12 marks each in both the years. In coordinate geometry, you have 20 marks for both, right? So now you will see that if you combine just these 4 chapters, you will find that they alone carry 50% of the syllabus. That is 16 marks, right? Are you getting the point? That in both the years 2014 as well as in 2013, if you combine that 60, if you combine the marks of those, 60 marks will be from only these 4 chapters. We have 16 chapters, and if you do 4 chapters thoroughly, you will get half of the marks of mathematics. That is 60 marks. And why these 60 marks will be very, very important, you will see when we'll discuss cutoff. So as far as one of the students asked, is NCERT enough? So basically the point is, NCERT is very, very crucial in all the subjects, particularly in chemistry. You must study chemistry through NCERT. NCERT is very, very important for chemistry, both for physical, inorganic and organic. We'll also try to discuss that part. As far as mathematics is concerned, NCERT is the minimum requirement for mathematics, and you can also have other books, other standard books for studying mathematics, right? So basically in limit, continuity and differentiability, if you have basics clear, then you can also get the question correct by studying with NCERT. So we have to focus more on basics. The formula based questions here are very few. The application based questions are more. Fine. So now let us try to again analyze the part for mathematics. So as you have seen that here 60% marks, or basically 60 marks, 50% of the marks are just carried by these 4 chapters. So why not study these 4 chapters first? Why not revise these 4 chapters first before doing all the other chapters? Basically permutations and combination, mathematical induction, even if you leave, it won't be of not much harm as far as the score is concerned, as I said it again and again. And if you have other chapters, that is, if you can take a look at other chapters, vector algebra, so all the chapters are equally important, but you can focus more on these 4 chapters that we have discussed, because they carry more than half, or they carry exactly half of the syllabus for mathematics marks for 2014 as well as 2013, right? So now let us try to see it for mathematics. As you can see, for 2013, 50% of the syllabus or 50% of the marks were alone by these 4 chapters: complex numbers, limits, integral calculus and coordinate geometry, and as well as in 2013. So why not focus more on this area? Because these 4 chapters alone out of the total 16 chapters will give us 60 marks, that is 15% of the marks. So this is where we get an edge over other students. We have to analyze these patterns, we have to analyze the question paper, because you may be studying hard for other topics, but you will find in the examination that topic does not carry that much of weightage. So the point is, you have to balance each and everything. You have to keep in mind the score, you have to keep in mind the topics, you have to keep in mind the weightage of each and every topic. Then we have to think, and then we have to go about a particular subject, whether it is physics, mathematics, or chemistry. So the important point is basically here the study part, that because most of you would have done this study, most of you would have practiced a lot. Now the important part is what part you have to revise, what part you have to leave if time does not permit. So if time permits, you will have to revise, of course, all the things, but if time does not permit, you will have to revise the selected things. So the basic idea is this: we have to know, first of all, what are the concepts, what are the weightage of different chapters. So here we have discussed for physics as well as for mathematics, right? So Pratik, as you asked which subject to attempt first, the point is in whatever subject you are comfortable with. In whatever subject you are comfortable with, you can attempt that one first. If you are comfortable in mathematics, you can attempt first mathematics, because the point is you should get questions going. Of course, if your mathematics is strong, you can do 15 questions out of 20, right? Suppose you have selected 20 questions to do from mathematics first, and if you do 15 questions out of those 20, automatically your confidence will be high, and you can also attempt those questions which you may find little vulnerable at. Fine. So these are the points, because we have to be very, very confident at beginning of the examination, at the initial point of the examination. We do not have to be afraid of the question paper, because the point is you have to be very, very calm in the examination. There is the point when you will get an edge over other students, because the question paper is same for all the students, right? So now let us try to analyze it for chemistry. Yes, yes, conics is also very, very important. You are correct. So yes, parabola, hyperbola, all these topics are important. You are absolutely correct. But the point that I said was, I did not say that please do not study those topics. The point was, you have to study all the topics. You have to study all the topics, but where you will have to focus, because you have to select some of the topics out of the areas that you are comfortable with. Fine. So this analysis that I said, I am talking in terms of the marks. Are you getting the point? I'm talking in terms of the marks. So it may happen, because JEE is unpredictable, right? It may happen that in next year what will come, nobody knows. But you have to be well prepared with all the topics. Fine. So here, this is where we'll get an edge by studying just these 4 chapters. So in whatever chapter you are interested, you can pick up that chapter. So the point is that you will ultimately you will have to study all the chapters, but where you will have to focus more. Fine. Okay. So the rank, as far as rank is concerned, do not worry, we'll try to discuss those stats also. So let us try to study. Fine. Let us try to study now for chemistry, right? Okay. So as many of you are saying, NCERT exemplar and all the books. So please try to follow just 1 or 2 books. Do not try to roam around many books for each and every subject. For example, in physics, you can focus more on H.C. Verma. So you'll have to just, first of all, focus on the topics, focus on 1 or 2 books which you find comfortable with. Do not try to study from each and every book. Do not try to say that I am studying from this book also, from that book also. So that will be really a menace for you. So you have to balance all the things, right? So now, so here I will just try to discuss the cutoffs for separately for OBC and all the things. Just wait for a while till then, all of you, right? So let us now try to study it for physical chemistry, because as all of you know that chemistry is divided into 3 parts: physical chemistry, organic chemistry, and inorganic chemistry, right? Okay. So as Jasurya Sangeet said, Tamil Nadu State Board books are enough. So Tamil Nadu State Board books are very good. So if for JEE main they are enough, right? As far as main is concerned. Fine. But for practice, you will have to get the questions. More and more questions you practice, it will be beneficial for you. Now, let us try to analyze for physical chemistry. Fine. Anubhav, R.D. Sharma, as you are talking about. So for JEE main, if you want to study, first of all, study NCERT. NCERT is must for all the subjects, particularly chemistry, right? Because you will find some of the questions you may directly be lifted from NCERT. So please try to focus more on NCERT first. For revision part, for the basic understanding of the concept, you will have to focus more on NCERT. So now just, yes, Rahul, NCERT is very, very crucial in chemistry. You will find that the questions of inorganic chemistry as well as the organic chemistry being asked from NCERT. So just try to focus, because the things that are given in boxes in NCERT, they are very, very important. Because sometimes we leave those things. We just say that this is just for the additional information. No, those things are very, very important. All the reactions, SN2 reactions, and all the things that we study in organic chemistry, all these are important. And if you find, if you will find in NCERT, all these things are given in detail. So just try to think, just try to focus more. When you will start studying NCERT again and again, then you will find new things out of those books. In the first chance, you will say that I have studied the thing, but when you will study it again, you will find some more new things, some interesting facts, more facts that you may not find in the first reading. So you just have to focus on all these things. So let us, friends, come back to physical chemistry now. So in physical chemistry, if you see that some basic concepts in chemistry here, just one question in 2014, the 4 marks, and 2013 it is 12 marks, 3 questions. And states of matter, here 8 marks in each year, 13 as well as 14. So atomic structure is 4 marks and 8 marks. So all of you can analyze it yourself here. So chemical bonding and molecular structure is very important topic in chemistry. Although only one question has been asked in 2014, but here we have 3 questions, so 12 marks. So this chapter is very, very important. So now you will find that in some of the years, from some of the chapters, you will not find any questions, but this does not mean that that chapter is not important. You will yourself has to analyze that which chapters are important, because it may seem that here the chemical bonding and molecular structure carries. So just wait, Priyal, Sony, we will try to discuss about organic chemistry as well. No, it is not 80% for organic chemistry. Don't try to. So I will just try to discuss all these things. Don't worry. So chemical bonding and molecular structure, if you see, here we have one question only in 2014. So it does not mean that this chapter is not important. This chapter is very, very important. Chemical bonding and molecular structure. In some of the years, you may find 4 questions asked in this topic alone. And now let us try to have chemical thermodynamics. So here, chemical thermodynamics having 4 marks in each year, that is 2014 as well as 2013. Fine. Here the solutions, if you talk about equilibrium, if you talk about redox reactions, and electrochemistry, if you talk about chemical kinetics. So all these topics are interrelated, right? So all these topics are interrelated, because as I said in the beginning of the class, you will find some questions that in those questions you will have to apply the concept of different chapters, right? After studying only one chapter, you cannot solve that question. So the mixture will be asked in JEE, not solely from one chapter alone. You will find some of the questions, or in fact many questions like this. Fine. So now here basically these chapters, if you see, and more important is these 8th and 9th chapters, redox reactions and electrochemistry and chemical kinetics. Of course, only one question has been solely asked from this chapter, but it is very, very important. Chemical kinetics is very, very important as far as other chapters are also concerned, because all these are interrelated, right? So now here what you can see is basically, so let us now first of all try to have this particular part. The surface chemistry only has 1 question in 2013 and only 0 question in 2014, right? So we can leave this topic without even thinking twice. Are you getting the part? Because we have to prioritize, we have to see that what are the basic things, what are the basic chapters we need to focus more on. Now let us try to take overall perspective of physical chemistry. You will find in 2014 it is 56 marks. And what is the total number of marks for chemistry? It is 120. So out of 120 itself, physical chemistry holds around roughly around 50%. That is 56 marks, just less than 64 marks short of 60, right? And in 2013, if you take a look, it is having 68 marks. Just try to see the number of marks alone this topic carries. Physical chemistry. Now you will see that why this becomes very, very important. Why physical chemistry becomes very, very important. Now let us try to analyze it for the other topic of chemistry, that is inorganic chemistry, right? So this is the inorganic chemistry. So inorganic chemistry, if you see here, you will find that not much has been asked, or if you consider the overall perspective of inorganic chemistry, only 20 marks in 2014. And similar is the trend in 2013 as well, only 16 marks, right? So the point is, the number of chapters, if you see from 11 to 18, the number of chapters are not much less. The number of chapters are comparable. But if you will find the weightage, it is very, very less as compared to the physical chemistry, and you will see as compared to the organic chemistry as well. Now here, 20 marks and 16 marks in both the years. So the point is, even if you do not have time to revise or to study inorganic chemistry, you may leave, but does not mean that you will definitely or you will deliberately have to leave inorganic chemistry. So do not try to assume this thing. Are you getting the point? The important point is, if you do not have time or if you are not comfortable with the topic, so ultimately you will have to study the topic, but you can focus more on physical and organic chemistry, right? So this topic you may leave if you want. Are you getting the point? If you are not comfortable with, you can focus more on physical and organic chemistry, because you find that only 20 marks on 2014 and 2013, right? Okay. Now let us try to have, okay, fine, Nishant. So here we are discussing about inorganic chemistry. Fine. So inorganic chemistry, here we have discussed that if you take a look at individual chapters, hydrogen, general principles and process of isolation of metals, fine. And if you take a look at the block elements, so in all the 2 years, these 3 chapters carry negligible weightage. No question, or only one question, if you can see. Only one question in 2013 as far as this 14th chapter is concerned, right? Now, the basic point is that if you take a look at another chapters, P block elements, D and F block elements, and coordination compounds, so these 3 combined carry almost all the weightage of inorganic chemistry, right? So basically the idea is that as far as the time permits, what are the topics that we have to focus more? So now this was for the inorganic chemistry. Let us now try to take a look at the organic chemistry, what percentage it carries, because we should know the weightage, we should know the trend, because you may focus more on inorganic chemistry but less on the physical chemistry. Both may require equal labor, but you will get more marks in physical chemistry, not in inorganic chemistry. So all these things we have to take in mind while studying, while preparing, and also while appearing for the examination. Now let us try to analyze it for organic chemistry. So as you can see, in organic chemistry, some basic principles of organic chemistry itself in 2013, they carried 12 marks, right? So here they alone carried 12 marks. Now in 2014 it was just 4 marks. So the individual topic, that is individual topic, the weightage of individual topic may differ, as we have discussed, but if you'll see at the umbrella term, that is organic chemistry, the overall weightage will be more or less similar, right? If in 2013 it was 36 marks, in 2014 or it was 44 marks, right? So now the important point is, basically we have to see here that some of the topics will carry more weightage, right? If you take a look at organic compounds containing oxygen, so organic compounds containing oxygen will be carrying more weightage than the other topics, fine. So now we'll have to focus more on some more topics, right? So now let us take a look at other chapters as well. So now organic chemistry, as you can see, it alone carries in 2014 44 marks and in 2013 36 marks, right? Now here 44 and 36 are more or less comparable, but if we'll see the trend, the marks will be similar, that is maybe 40 marks or maybe 38 marks, maybe 45 marks. So not huge differences created as far as individual topics, as far as the umbrella terms are concerned. So now if you take a look at some chapters, that is organic compounds containing oxygen, so here the weightage is 12 marks for 2014 and for 2013 it is 8 marks. For 2014, as far as organic compound containing nitrogen are concerned, because these 2 chapters are very important as far as organic chemistry is concerned, organic compound containing oxygen as well as organic compound containing nitrogen. So in both the years, in this 2014 it is 12 marks, in 2013 it is 8 marks. But if we see in 2013 for organic compound containing nitrogen, it does not have any question. But it does not mean that this topic is not important, because after looking at the facts, we do not have to just straight away assume if it is not having any question, then this topic is not important. That is why this session is important, because here, after looking at this, you will find that it is carrying no marks in 2013, so this topic is not important, but it is basically important. Organic compounds containing nitrogen is very important as far as organic chemistry is concerned. But if you see at the last two chapters, that is chemistry in everyday life and principles related to practical chemistry, you will find that these two chapters are not that much important as the other chapters in this group. That is 0 marks in both the topic, and you will see that in 2013 only one of the topic carry one question, that is 4 marks. So even if you leave these topics, so the idea basically is, whenever I say even if you leave this topic, it does not mean that you will deliberately leave those topics. So the idea is, when we have time, when we have limited time, so we have to first of all set the priority that which chapters we need to study first, which chapter we need to revise first, right? So even if we leave this, that is 27th and 28th chapters, so you will find that this will not create huge difference. Very minimal difference will be created in terms of the marks, right? So this is how we have to individually analyze all these subjects, and in those subjects we'll have some umbrella terms, and in those umbrella terms we'll have some topics defined by CBSE, and in among those topics we'll have to choose those topics which will fetch us more marks. In maths you saw that by studying 4 chapters we can have 60 marks, or basically half of the marks as far as mathematics is concerned. So why not study those chapters first? So this case is true as far as all the topics we should talk about, mathematics, chemistry or physics. This is true for all these subjects. So we have to just see which are the chapters or which are the umbrella terms we need to focus more, because some students may not like inorganic chemistry. Most of the students we know they do not like inorganic chemistry. They study more physical chemistry and organic chemistry, which is fine. You can study more, you can have better practice of organic chemistry and physical chemistry, right? So this is how we should go about. We should first of all plan our study. We should have a clear picture in our mind what we are going to achieve, and how we are going to achieve this, and what we are going to do for that. And after that you will have to see which are chapters you have to revise and which are chapters you can leave if you do not have time, right? So as we have discussed all these, some of the students were very curious about the weightages and all the things, so we have discussed this. So now this is for chemistry. If you can see physical, organic, in both the years you will find that both of them combined alone carries around 85% of the syllabus, right? So why not to study these two chapters first? Why not to revise these two umbrella terms first, that is organic as well as physical. In organic it is 16.66% in 2014, and in 2013 it is just 13.33%. So this is how we'll have to set the goal. This is how we have to prioritize. So now most of the students were curious about the cutoffs also. So let us try to see the cutoffs as well. So as you can see, the figure for 2014 for common merit list it was 115. For 2013 it was 113, right? For OBCs, that is other backward classes, it is 74 and 70. For scheduled castes, as you can see, it is 53 and 70, right? 53 and 50. For scheduled tribe, it is 47 and 45. So not much of the difference is there. So as you can see here, only the difference is of 2 marks, here just of 4 marks, here of 3 marks, here it is for 2 marks. Now you will realize the importance of the things that we have discussed. In maths, as we discussed, when we have just 4 chapters out of 16, so just 4 chapters are giving you 60 marks, right? And now see the cutoff. It is less than even double of 60. That is 115 in 2014. So the basic idea is not just to clear the cutoff, right? The basic idea is not just to clear the cutoff. Basically we have to score more. So the point is that even after studying 4 chapters you can score 60 marks. So all these facts and figures you should know. All these facts and figures will make you more confident. Yes, by studying just 4 chapters I can easily score 6 marks. I can easily score 60 marks. So in chemistry and physics combined, you will just have to score 60 marks to clear the cutoff. But the basic idea is not just to clear the cutoff. We have to score much. We have to score better, right? Because we have to be on the safer side. So now you will realize the importance of these 60 marks, and as far as maths, as far as chemistry is concerned, the importance of physical chemistry, because in 2014 it carried 56 marks. Yes, around 56 marks. So now you will see that around alone physical chemistry carried 56 marks. So what is the importance of these umbrella terms? What is the importance of these marks? Now you will realize that importance, right? So this was the basic idea to discuss all the things. Now basically let's try to have some questions of the previous year JEE questions. Then you will try to differentiate why the questions asked in board examination are different from the questions asked in the JEE main examination, or basically in JEE examinations, right? So let us try to discuss some of the questions here. So this is first of all for physics. So let us try to read the question first. A wire which passes through the hole in a small bead is bent in the form of a circle. The wire is fixed vertically on the ground as shown in the figure. The bead is released from near the top of the wire and it slides along the wire without friction. So try to read each and every word very carefully. As the bead moves from A to B, what is the force it applies on the wire, or the force it applies on the wire is? You can see the options. So by looking at the options, you will come to know that we had just say about the direction of the force which is applied on the wire, right? So as far as the direction is concerned, what comes to our mind? The normal reaction or not? Yes, because this bead and wire are both interacting. So what will be the only force? This will be the normal reaction between both, because the area or the area of the contact is frictionless, as it has been said in the question. So basically what we'll do is, we'll just say that after some time, let us say at position A dash, we have that bead, and the angle it makes is nothing but theta, right? It is theta at some point of time. So as you can see, basically the basic idea is, whenever you have this type of situation, the first thing that you do is drawing the free body diagram of the particular object concerned. Yes or no? Absolutely yes. So now here you are asked about the force on the wire. So the force or the normal reaction on the bead will be opposite to the normal reaction on the wire. You agree with this point? So if we find out the direction of the force on the bead, so the direction of the force on the wire will be just opposite. Yes. So let us try to do it for this bead, that is this object. So let us say the mass is small m. So there will be the gravitational force, that is mg, acting downward, and here you will have mg sine theta, right? So mg sine theta will be its component here. Now as all of you know, the normal reaction will be radially inward or radially outward. Let us show it as radially outward here. So now we have to make the equations. Now you will see why mechanics is important. So now what we'll do is, as all of you know, this is in the circular motion. So force, from where you will have the centripetal force. So centripetal force will be nothing but the force acting toward the center, that is mg sine theta. The net force mg sine theta minus n will give me mv square by r. So very simple equation it is. So let us say this is nothing but the first equation. Now what is going to be the second equation? Just try to think about the second equation. Yes? Any one of you? Please try to think about the second equation. You will find that this object is just coming down, so it is losing potential energy. So conservation of energy is also important, we know. So we'll just try to apply the conservation of energy as well. So let us say this is the height, or let us say this is small h. So the loss in potential energy will be equal to the gain in kinetic energy, right? So what will be the loss in potential energy? Let us try to write it, mg into the height. So what will be this h? This h will be nothing but equal to this small, this is, let us say this is O. So AO is capital R, right? So R minus this distance will be nothing but the h. So what is this? R minus R sine theta, right? So this will be the loss in potential energy, right? Now this will be equal to gain in the kinetic energy. So what is the gain in kinetic energy? It has been released from rest at point A. So the gain in kinetic energy will be nothing but simply half of mv square, right? So it will be half of mv square. So let us say this equation is equation 1, this equation is equation 2. We are more worried about the normal reaction. So just try to write, yes, Goswami, you are absolutely correct. That is what we have done. MGH, absolutely correct. So we have just tried to study. We have just tried to substitute MGH, right? So Chirag, organic chemistry 80%. So we have discussed the weightage of organic, inorganic, and physical chemistry as well, right? So now from both the equations, first of all, let us try to manipulate equation 1. Let us try to rearrange equation 1 because we have to find out the normal reaction. So this normal reaction N from equation 1 will be nothing but equal to mg sine theta. All of you also can solve it simultaneously in your notebooks. So mg sine theta minus mv square by r, right? And you can substitute the value of mv square by r from equation 2. Are you getting the point? So these are just basic calculations. So no direct application of the formula, you have to have the concept along with you. So just try to substitute it from equation 2. You will get mg sine theta, mg sine theta minus twice of mg r minus r sine theta divided by capital R, right? This will be the final expression for the normal reaction. Now just try to rearrange it further to get the final value of the normal reaction so that we can find out its sign, whether it is positive or in what condition it is positive, in what conditions it is negative. So you can see that 2 or 3 steps are needed to solve this question. So now this normal reaction will be nothing but equal to, you will find that it is coming out to be equal to mg 3 sine theta minus 2, right? So this will be the normal reaction. Now you will find the condition for this normal reaction being positive or this normal reaction being negative. So let us try to find out the condition. If this is positive, so what does this mean? It simply means that theta is greater than or equal to sine inverse 2 by 3. Yes or no? Very simple explanation. It simply means if normal reaction has to be positive, the theta should be greater than sine inverse 2 by 3. So this will be the reason of normal reaction being positive. Are you getting the point? This will be the region of normal reaction being positive. So what is this normal reaction basically? This is for the bead, as we have discussed in the beginning of the example. So the normal reaction on the wire will be opposite or not. If it is positive here for bead, so it will be negative here for the wire. Yes or no? Therefore it will be positive here in this region. So it simply means negative means inward normal reaction or inward force on the wire. So option D will be correct because radially inward initially and then radially outward. This is how we can go about a problem. So there is not much of the concepts are required. There is not much of the formulas are required. So you just have to focus on the basics to have the question, right? You will find just 2 or 3 steps are needed. When you are good in calculations, you can do it a lot better. You can do it fast because you don't have to show the calculations. You can do it rough, right? So you can do such questions quickly. Now let us try to solve another question, that is in chemistry. So the previous question was also asked in, it was the physics question that we just now discussed was asked in the JEE advanced examinations. So let us try to do this question also for chemistry. So you have been shown that in this reaction shown below, the major product formed is or are. Now just try to see reaction. Here you have acidic anhydride. So first of all, you should have the structure of acidic anhydride because these type of reactions are the reactions in which you will have to have the mechanisms, right? And what is the role of CH2Cl2? Here the role of CH2Cl2 is basically of the solvent, right? So the role of CH2Cl2 is basically of the solvent. Now let us try to first of all have the basic idea, or let us try to begin with the solution by writing the reaction, right? We'll also try to follow the steps for the mechanisms. So let us try to do this. First of all, you can also do this along with me. So let us first of all try to make this is the given part. Here you have NH2 and here you have C double bond O NH2, right? Now this will be combining with acetic anhydride. So what is that? What is the structure of that compound? You have to know those structures because acetic anhydride is used in many of the reactions. You may find it is involved in almost all the reactions or more than half of the reactions. So the structure of the compound is basically CH3, C double bond O, C double bond O, CH3. Just now we have to try to think of the product, right? So you can think here that basically it is not given in the questions deliberately. It is having lone pair. So nitrogen is having lone pair. We all of us know. So here in this compound, you know that oxygen is electronegative. It will try to attract the electrons from this double bond towards itself. So here will be tendency of creation of very small positive charge. So we are not saying that it will positive charge will be created, right? Don't think that way. So the important point is that we have to think in the way to solve the question that will be tendency of this positive charge, very small positive charge, right? And there will be tendency of very small negative charge. So this lone pair can attack this delta positive, as well as this lone pair can attack this delta positive, right? Both are the possibilities, and you will see the options are given. Such options are given that you will be confused in which option we have to take, right? So we have to just see all these things. So which one is correct, which one we have to proceed with, right? So let us try to analyze. If you have, suppose this is the first, if you have to form the of the first reaction. So let us try to analyze it for first reaction. If you have this one, so the product will be basically, let us write here this NH2, and here you will find this is double bond O, and here you will have N positive, here H, and here also you have H. So here you will have this situation, because when this will attack, this bond will break. So here COCH3 will be attached with this particular compound. Now in the options you will also find, that this is likely to be option B, right? This is likely to be option B. You can very well match both the results. But here is the problem where the JEE will confuse us. B will not be the answer. Why B will not be the answer? Let us try to analyze this part, right? So this nitrogen, this lone pair of this nitrogen will not attack this particular carbon. Why? Just try to think why this will not attack. This will simply not attack because that particular nitrogen is in resonance with the oxygen given. Yes or no? Are you trying to see? Are you trying to appreciate this point? This particular nitrogen will be in resonance with the oxygen present. Yes? That is why attack this nitrogen basically will not attack that particular carbon. So this will not be free, because this will be in resonance with this particular attached with this carbon. So only possibility is this will attack. When this will attack, we will have point. So just try to follow the mechanisms. You don't have to just mug up all the reactions. You should know the mechanisms. So here you will find, here will be positive charge, and you can also see that this positive charge will be gone when there will be loss of proton from this nitrogen. So the mechanism is also very simple. So this bond will break. So here you will have C double bond O, CH3 plus you will have another compound which will be nothing but CH3 C OO minus. Now you can very well see this proton can go to this negative sign, that is O minus, and this will form CH3COOH. Now you can see from the options, simply option A is correct. So we have to just think that whether A will be correct or B will be correct. So we don't have to make such mistakes, because many of the students would mark B as the answer. So you have to keep all the things in mind, that there the lone pair in nitrogen will be in resonance with that oxygen, right? So these type of questions are often asked in JEE. This is also one of the question of JEE advanced, but here the concept involved is very important. Now friends, let us try to discuss one last question that is for mathematics, right? So all of you just try to read out the question and also try to solve it again at the same time. Let A belongs to R. Let A belongs to R and F be the function from R to R, that is from real numbers to real numbers. Be given by f of x equals x raised to power 5 minus 5x plus a, right? So this is the function we have been given. Now the point is, here we have to take a look at all the options, because we do not know what will be the condition when a will be greater than 4, what will be the condition on roots when a will be greater than 4, a will be less than 4, or a is lying between minus 4 and 4. So we have to analyze all these points. So the basic point is, whenever we have this type of questions, when we have to find the number of roots, so here we are not worried about the roots itself, right? We are more worried about the number of roots. So here what we'll do, we'll just try to have a rough sketch of the function given. So let us try to find out the rough sketch of the function depending upon the values of a. Then we can easily say which option is correct. So to have the rough sketch, we all of us know we'll just have to find out the derivative of the function, that is f dash x. This will be nothing but equal to 5x raised to power 4 minus 5, right? Now to have the rough sketch of the function, we need to have the sign of this function, because we have to find out where the function is decreasing or where the function is increasing. So here let us take 5 as common. So we do not worry much about the 5 here. We are more worried about this expression, right? So let us try to focus on this expression. So we can factorize this. This will become x square plus 1 into x square minus 1. Fine. Now again we are not worried about this, because this is again positive. So this will not create any difference in the sign of the derivative. So let us leave this particular function, that is x square plus 1. So we will focus on x square minus 1. So these steps are very simple. You will find that ultimately you will have a very easy solution. So x square minus 1 is nothing but x plus 1 and x minus 1. So this is the particular function that will change the sign of the derivative. Now how we can find out where the function is increasing, where the function is decreasing? So let us try to analyze this part. So as you can see, let us mark here minus 1, let us mark here as plus 1, because these are the points where the function will change, f dash will change the sign. So you can put any number between 0 and 1, between minus 1 and 1. So 0 lies between minus 1 and 1, just try to put that one. You will find that this is negative. The function will be decreasing. So all of us know that the signs are alternate, so we can directly put up the signs. So this will be positive and this will be negative. This will be positive. This is positive, negative, positive. So signs will be alternate. Because we do not have to worry about each and every time. We do not have to just put in the values and see whether this is positive, whether this is negative. So this will ultimately consume time. So that is why we need to have the shortcuts. Once you have found out for one of the interval, then the other signs will be just the alternate. That is, if this is negative, this will be positive, and so on, right? Now the function is increasing from minus infinity to minus 1. We can very well see in the question, function is decreasing from minus 1 to 1. The function is again increasing from 1 to infinity. So this is the idea about the function. Now how we can find out the number of roots? So all of us know what are the number of roots. The number of roots will be nothing but the number of times this function will cut the x-axis. Basically we can treat this one as x-axis. So the number of times the function will cut x-axis will be the number of roots. As simple as that, right? So just try to see the rough sketch of the function now. So for that we will have to have the functions, that is for f of 1. Let us try to see for f of minus 1 first. For f of minus 1 is nothing but equal to here minus 1 plus 5 plus a, right? Which will be nothing but equal to 4 plus a. Let us try to consider about f of 1. So f of 1 is simply nothing but equal to 1 minus 5 plus a. This will be minus 4 plus a, right? So why we are finding out? Because just we have to find out the rough sketch of the function. So minus 4 plus a, as simple as that. Now we'll have to see the sign of the function at these points. So let us try to consider the situations one by one. First of all, for a greater than 4, right? Just try to consider it for a greater than 4. First condition, a greater than 4. You will find f of minus 1 is coming out to be positive and f of 1 is also coming out to be positive, greater than 0. You can very well see in the expression. Just try to see here in the expression, f of minus 1, 4 plus a. If a is greater than 4, so this will automatically be positive. F of 1, minus 4 plus a is greater than 4, so minus 4 plus something greater than 4 will be positive. That is why the function is positive on both minus 1 and 1. Now we will have the rough sketch of this function. So minus 1 here, plus 1 here, the function is decreasing, increasing and increasing. So minus 1 is positive, so let us put somewhere here. So this is increasing, so from minus infinity it will increase. So f of 1 is positive, so it will decrease till some points, till some positive value, then again it will increase. Now you can very well see this in this graph, it cuts only one time when a is greater than 4. Now just see any one of the options. Fx has 3 real roots when a is greater than 4. No. Fx has only one real root when a is greater than 4. Absolutely. This is what we have just found out. Now let us try to consider it for a less than minus 4, right? Because we have to take a look at all the options. So let us now try to take when a is less than minus 4. You can yourself now do the rest of the question. When a is less than minus 4, you will find f of minus 1 is negative and f of 1 is also negative, right? Now we have the sign of the function at these points. Now we can easily solve. So again let us have this x-axis. This is basically minus 1, this is basically plus 1. This is the multiple choice question, so we'll have to take a look at all the options. F of minus 1 is negative, so let us say here it is negative. F of 1 is also negative. Now just see here, this is increasing, decreasing and increasing. Since this is increasing, so it will increase from some point. It will decrease now till f of 1. So f of 1 is negative, so here it is also coming out to be negative. Then it will increase. So it will definitely cut at some point between 1 and infinity. So what does this mean? It simply means whenever we have a less than minus 4, it simply means that we have only one root, or basically only one real root, right? So let us try to see what the option says. Fx has 3 roots. No. When a is less than minus 4, it has only one root. Now let us try to analyze this for the last one, that is when a is minus 4 to 4. So this is a very basic and conceptual question. Just try to see it. When a is less than, or a is between 4 and greater than minus 4, what is f of minus 1 and what is f of 1? Just try to find it out. You will find f of minus 1. Just try to take a look at the expression. 4 plus a. When a is between minus 4 and 4, so it will be nothing but positive. So simply it will be positive. Now try to take a look at f of 1 when a is between minus 4 and 4. So you will find that minus 4 plus a is f of 1. But if a is between minus 4 and 4, this will come out to be negative. So f of 1 will be nothing but negative. Now try to draw the graph. This is minus 1. This is plus 1. Right? This is increasing here, decreasing here and increasing here. So now this is f of minus 1 is greater than 0. So let us try to put it somewhere here. F of 1 is less than 0. So let us try to put somewhere here. We know that from minus infinity to minus 1 the function is increasing. So let the function be like this. Now it is decreasing and again it is increasing. Now you will see that we have 3 points, right? We have 3 roots. So when a is between minus 4 and 4, we have 3 real roots. So let us try to see what the option says. The option is fx has 3 real roots if a is between -4 and 4. Absolutely. So friends, B and D will be the correct options. So this is how we will go about a problem in mathematics, in chemistry, as well as in physics. So as you can see here in the function, what is combined along with the function is the calculus, basically differential calculus. So the topics may not be isolated, they are interdependent. So we have to focus on some of the topics. So this is how we can go about a problem. So friends, this was the last example that we discussed, that is for mathematics. So what we have learned today is basically what are the areas that we have to focus more, what are the areas that we have to focus more, what are the topics that carry more weightage. Because if you take an example, when you will go for the examination, you may find, for example, in 2014, what happened was some of the questions were of, if you talk about the advanced, let us try to talk about the advanced for a while just to give you an idea. For JEE advanced, right? The multiple choice questions were the quantity of multiple choice questions were increased, and the calculation level was little more than the previous year. So calculation level was also increased. So by looking at all these things, some of the students may panic that this question paper is having multiple choice questions, more multiple choice questions than usually they are asked. So basically the important point is you do not have to panic by looking at these particular facts and figures. The important point is you have to be calm throughout the question paper. So what strategy you can apply is basically, there are 120 questions, fine. So you can have rounds. So let us say we have the first round. So what you will do in the first round is select those questions which you feel you can straight away do them. You can do them within 1 minute, right? So there will be around, let us say 30 to 40 questions. Yes, 30 to 40 questions will be such which you can do straight away, right? Without even thinking. So you can do those questions first. Now, once you have done those questions, so what will be basically the idea is you will have the confidence, you will be high in the confidence, right? You will be high in the confidence. For example, in 30 to 40 questions, you do in 50 minutes. Let us take it on the higher side. For example, on average, you do 30 to 40 questions in 50 minutes. So in less than 1 hour, you have done 30 to 40 questions. Or basically, if you calculate the marks, so it will be around, so 30 question 3 into 4, that is 120, 4 into 4 is 160. So around 120 to 160 marks you have attempted in less than 1 hour. So automatically your confidence will be high. Now you will touch upon those questions in which you will have to think a little bit, right? So you will have the second round in the examination hall, and there also you can do some questions. For example, let us say 20 to 30 questions. So those questions will be an extra advantage for you, and then you will get more confidence. So the idea is you do not have to roam around a single question in the examination, because what may happen is basically you are doing, for example, any one question basically in mathematics, chemistry, or physics, in whatever subject, you may take around 5 to 7 minutes in that particular question, and you may not get what is happening in that question. So you do not have to stuck in one question, right? So do not try to stuck in one question, try to attempt another question, right? So select the questions in which you are comfortable, select the paper, first of all, try to do that exam, try to do that subject in which you are comfortable. So the basic idea is you have to gain the initial confidence. So these are some of the basic facts where you will have an extra advantage or where you will have an edge over other students. So these are very, very basic and minute things. This seems to be minute, but they create huge difference in the examination. So all of us will have to take care of these minute things which will create huge difference in the examination, because you may find that other student having same knowledge, having same concepts, scoring more than you. But how come this is possible? This is possible if you can take care of the whole scenario that we have discussed today. So basically the idea is all of you have to keep calm in the examination, right? So this is the end of the session, friends. All the best to all of you. Have confidence in yourself. Try to give the exam with free mind. Do not have any thing in your mind that will distract you. So just go with a free mind and give the exam. So all the best, all of you, on behalf of Merit Nation for the examinations. So till then, all of you, bye bye and take care. We'll see you soon, and we'll try to discuss some more topics in any other seminar. So till then, all of you, bye bye and take care.